Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Modding Super Mario War. In the previous video, I taught you how to download Super Mario War and modify the controls. But in this episode, you are going to learn how to make skins, because there is actually a trick to it. There are things you need to know when making a skin, so I thought I'd teach you all how to do so. What you're going to need to do is know where the skins go in the game's folders and files. You want to click on GFX, which stands for graphics, and there should be a folder just dedicated to skins. Now, the important thing to notice is that they're all labeled .bmp, and that's something you'll want to remember. In order to make a skin, you're going to need a couple of things. One, you'll have to create some graphics. Now, you can do this on your own, or you're probably just going to use sprites from another video game. Now, what are sprites? They're basically the frames of animation that are pretty much in every and any 2D video game. So yeah, the sprites I'm going to be using come from the Spriters resource, which is a very recommended website to do so. The character that I'm using is from a game called Mappy, an old Namco game from 1983. I figured Mappy would work because it has something that I need: 2 frames of walking animation. What you're going to need to do is you're going to have to go into a photo editor or image creator of your choice. It could be anything from Microsoft Paint to GIMP to KidPix even. Now, what you're going to need to do is create an image file size of 192 pixels by 32 pixels. Or you could minimize that size, but yeah. You see, all of the sprites use a 32 by 32 sprite sheet, and that's because all of the sprites are, well, they're supposed to be 16 by 16 pixels, which is the normal size for any Mario sprite, especially all of the ones used in the game, but for some reason, they multiply it by 2, and of course, 16 times 2 is 32. The first 2 frames of animation are very important because they are the walking animation, but the first one is a bit more important than the others because it is an idle, standing animation. This is the animation you'll see whenever you're not moving. However, the second frame is just sort of like a moving the legs sort of thing, and that can be anything. Really, it's up to your imagination. As long as you keep all of the sprites within a 32 by 32 space, you should be fine. I recommend that you use Piscles, a sprite editing software, or a sprite to animate your sprites. The third frame is the jump frame. This is also important because you're going to be seeing this one quite a bit. As long as you have a jump animation, that should be fine. But then we have the fourth frame, which, what is this one? It's supposed to be the turning animation. You can see it a bit better whenever your character is running on ice and turns around quickly. So you'll need to find a frame that fits that. The last 2 are mainly for KOs. A hit frame and a flat frame is what I call them. The hit frame is the 5th frame in the sprite sheet, and the 6th one is a flat animation for when they're stomped like a Goomba. Now, I've arranged the sprites so it looks like this. I've got the first 2 walking frames and a standing frame. I've got a jump, I've got a turning, I've got a hit, and a flat animation. Now this is what it looks like in the game. Now, if you want to save your work, all you have to go to is the file setting, and then click Save As BMP, and that's all you have to do. Save it to whatever directory you choose best. Then you just drag and drop it into the GFX and then Skins folder. You do not want to edit a sprite sheet while it's still in the skin folder. That's just something you should remember. Now, a lot of rookie mistakes, and probably because you've been following my orders, is that you probably saved the file and, well, put it in the game and then you booted it up and hey, it works. But wait, why isn't it changing colors? There are different colors that the game can read as different colors. I know that sounds confusing, but sit back and let me explain. Alright, so here's how things work. If you've looked at some of the other already pre-made skins within Super Mario War, you'll have noticed that there are some, very odd-looking skins. And of course, they don't look like that in-game, so what's that all about? Well, the game actually reads these specific colors and changes them in the game. So, for team colors, there are only 3. A dark, a medium, and light color. This is for a lot of the colors in the game. The team colors are usually this red coloration. But then we also have alternate team colors, which are different for each and every team color. On a red team, it'll appear yellow. On a green team, it'll appear brownish orange of some kind. On a blue team, it'll appear purple, and on a yellow team, it will appear blue. But then we also have some other colorations, like black and white, which black is this gray coloration and white is this light blue. Odd choices. There's also specifically brown and blue, which also change color depending on what you've chosen, but yeah. Brown is this shade of green, and blue is a very, very dark blue, unlike the team alt colors. Skin is, if you want skin tones on your character, you'll have to use these 3 yellow shades. And lastly, there is gray. Oh yes, and there's one more coloration, which is pink, which is for complete transparency. And just remember, whenever you're making a skin, make sure the background is always pink, otherwise you'll have pixels that you don't want on your sprite sheet. Why are all of these colors important? Well, it just helps make it look nicer. But also, if you're using a star in the game, it'll flash 2 different colors, and if you want those other colors to flash, then I suggest you use these. However, it's also useful for having colors like black and white for whenever your character has respawned. So I've gone ahead and made my Mappy sprite sheet the proper colors that I feel fit it just right. By the way, make sure you have previously deleted the other one, or maybe you didn't even make that other one. You've been watching ahead, and I'm proud of you for that, son. Real proud. So that's how you make a skin. If you want, and you want a decent guide, I actually made a sprite sheet just for making skins. It includes all the colors that are necessary, it is the proper size, and it works in-game. This is kind of like an essential skin, and I will leave a Mediafire link in the description below. In the next episode, I will be showing you how to make sprite sheets for tile sets and stuff like that, how to edit the game's textures. Until then, see you next time.